Yeah, work, sleep, eat, repeat. Someone asked me that today, actually. It was like, so what have you been up to? And it's like, work, sleep, eat, repeat.
Pretty much. Sorting technical issues out here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it took a little bit.
It seems to be running fine.
Well, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, your Wi-Fi's pretty solid.
Yeah, I didn't fuck with it today. I just ran a speed test because I was trying to work out why the game was having a moment. And you can see how it's fluctuating.
Yeah.
But it's something chronic, and I don't know whether that's like the data on that hard drive's not reading fast enough, or I think I actually kind of think that hard drive is really, really old, and I think it's only capable of 300 megasecond. Must be meg.
Yeah, probably. Well, you can get new SSD-based ones now. So I know you said you got an M2 drive in that laptop, where you can get an M2 like enclosure thing and plug into USB. Pretty cool. Pretty expensive, but actually no, they've come down in price.
So I was going to say it's probably the same price as a external hard drive anyway.
Yeah, they've actually come down. So
yeah, can't complain with that.
Yeah, but it was obviously a short week for us here in Queensland last week.
Fuck.
Oh, you say that. I say fucking rubbish, eh?
Well, Tuesday was shit.
Tuesday was horrendous.
Yeah, Tuesday was pick up with all the shit that you missed out on Monday because we weren't in Monday.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And like I know there's a few states that had public holidays, but it just felt like, trying to fit 5 days worth of work into 4.
Yeah.
And anything that could go wrong potentially did go wrong, or it kind of did go wrong.
It did. We've got a guy off at work as well, who normally does our like warehousing. So trying to do that as well as my other stuff. Just I feel you.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, and just obviously a few people off had someone that had been off come back, so trying to do handover to them. But it was just by the end of it, I was just... And then there was a few like after work activities as well, so there wasn't really that too much downtime.
Oh, pick your car up today?
Nah, not yet. So we came here first. But so the aim was to do it yesterday.
Are they open today?
Well, it's just at work.
Oh, did they drop it back to your work?
No. So I picked the car up. So I picked the car up a couple of weeks ago. So literally the last episode we recorded, I picked it up on Wednesday.
Oh.
So I was a bit, actually, we'll talk about that. So I was a bit skeptical because I got a text message on Monday and it said, oh yeah, it's gone in to be painted. And, we'll give you an update when you can. I'm like, no way this will be ready by Wednesday. No, fair enough. 3:30 Wednesday, or 3 o'clock Wednesday was available, picked up. So went and picked up. Seems fine. Seems like a car. It smelled a bit weird inside because obviously it's clean.
Yeah, they would have.
They go through and clean it and clean the outside.
Sanitised because of COVID, they would have.
Well, it wasn't sanitised. It was a very... I can't even put my finger on the scent, but it was a very
like
fragrance.
Some Glen 20.
Yeah, but not quite as pungent, if I dare use the word. So, so I had that back, which is good. When I got a dash cam for it, so... got that through work, so that was nice. That's in there now. Yeah. But knowing my luck, I won't be in any other accident.
Yeah. Well, you hope not.
I didn't plan on being in that one either, so...
Yeah.
But yes, which has been a bit of a bonus, because that Thursday, Friday, that was the weekend it started pissing down rain. So I was very lucky. In the 4 weeks I was on the bike, it didn't rain in the morning or the afternoon, so I didn't get wet.
Ah, perfect.
But then got the car back, started pissing down rain that weekend. So I was very fortunate, very, very thankful I had the car back. But so that's been back. It's been driving okay.
Happens for a reason, mate. That's why things are set the way they are.
Yeah.
So.
But no, what happened was we went to the SeaWorld, I think it's called Spooky Night on Friday night. So Sam came and picked me up from work and we went down there. We're down there with your older brother. I'm trying to remember because it's obviously younger to Sam, so I usually say one of the younger brothers, but older brother to you. His partner, their little boy, and I think it's her sister.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But your youngest brother was there too. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought Bowden.
Yeah. He was there with his girlfriend and her mum. So we we went around and did the trick or treating thing that they have there.
Just hung out.
Watched the shows. Saw a bit of the fireworks, but not too much because the kids started to go to sleep. Went on a couple of rides type thing. Got some food. Saw the dolphin stuff, which is pretty cool. And the kids are like, "Wow!"
Of a night time?
Wow, yeah.
Oh,
So in that dolphin exhibit, like in the big
enclosure,
they've got some giant like spotlights that they turn on. Because we've been there, I think it might have been a carnival or something before, and they do a show then. But yeah, it's very similar to the daytime show. They kind of rip out a few parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun, and the kids are like, "Wow, ooh," which is pretty exciting. So had some fun down there, but we obviously left the car down there because it didn't make sense to drive two cars and then come back. And yeah, so we're gonna when we finished it.
She's got sunnies on.
Yeah. When we finished Wet and Wild, so we went to Wet and Wild on Saturday, and when we finished, we were supposed to then go down to work, pick up my car, drive it home, but we just forgot. We went home, got changed, came
Come
here,
out here.
and then today's Sunday when I'm like, my car's still at work. That's a problem for tomorrow.
So she still working in the coast?
Yeah, but it would mean, no, not going to happen. She'd have to get up earlier and then go a long way, and it'd be it'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I'm not saying we get up as early as some of
No.
the other people, but it's already an extra half an hour on Monday, Tuesday, so it would be another half an hour on top of that, which wouldn't be fun. I got my little one at the door. She's just waking up from a nap. She's still got her sunnies on.
You look like Belle hungover. Give me my sunnies. Turn the lights off. It's bright. My head hurts. Well, that's a good night on the town.
Certainly is. But yeah, so after this we'll go down and collect the car and then
pick it all up and
go home. But yeah, so that's funnily enough busy week, which turned into a bit of a busy weekend. We had a charity event this morning. I was only telling you before we started recording. It didn't necessarily go to plan. We've been to a couple of them before, but so it was a charity walk where you walk. Well, this one I always thought it was 5K, but then they had someone do like a warm up thing and they said 4K, and I'm like, sweet, I just gained a K back.
Yeah, yes.
And it did not go to plan. We sort of walked one way and they're like, no, you can't walk that way. And I'm looking, so it was at Eagle Farm Racecourse. I'm going, you're not normally allowed to walk on the track, so why would they let us do it now? But anyway, okay, whatever. And we thought, it's all right. There's a volunteer at the front. They know what they're doing. Turns out they didn't.
No.
So we just walked back to the start, and then we were there with some friends and their family. So we just had a bit of a chinwag there, and then went, okay, cool, bring you guys, and here we are.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's been good. Just having a busy week. It's always good because it makes time fly pretty quickly. But in some instances, then it's also like, oh, fuck, just slow down. Let me relax.
Yeah, well, you need that chill time or that time to turn off.
Which is where I believe our good friend Jordan is right now. I think he's turning off, switched off. He's just having a moment, I believe, just relaxing, chilling out. Hopefully, that's what his plan was, to just have a day of doing nothing. So hopefully he got it.
Yeah, well, he was working a fair bit, so
yeah, just try and have a day off because things get to you. You definitely don't want to keep pushing them until they explode. So
no. Well, we had a few comments actually about the last episode we recorded, how Jordan disappeared the way through, and someone did ask the question like, "Oh, did he just not come back for the second part because you didn't invite him to Riverfire?" Jordan, if you'd like to address that, please do.
Yeah, potentially.
But I don't think so. I think he was pretty over it.
I think he was tired.
Yeah.
He's run down. Yeah, been working days, nights, like late days, then like 15-hour Saturdays and stuff. So big hours, and he's just wearing himself thin, I suppose. So it's good. It's like today, it's been pretty chill. I'm still in half sleep mode because I feel like having a nap, but it's been good.
I don't blame you. I kind of want to have a nap.
I reckon if I sat down for too long and didn't say anything, I would. Yeah, so And hopefully everybody else out there had a cruisy weekend, cruisy week, if you will. Hopefully got a bit of rest in if you need it, because I tried. I tried. No, it's been good. It's been good. I need a drink. I didn't bring any in.
You didn't bring any in, no.
Interesting. It's like a sugary, sweet soft drink, I suppose, but it's got more fruit in it than anything else.
It's definitely different.
I'm not saying it's great. It's not horrible. I've definitely drank worse. But, yes. Now, speaking of drinking and speaking and, getting on drinking experts, we did ask a drinking expert on Father's Day if he would like to join, or a beer expert, I should say.
Yep.
He politely said, go fuck yourself. But that was because he said he's good at sorting. I'm going to stop leaning on the bench. He's good at talking about beer face to face, but he will not put it on the internet. Okay, fair enough.
Actually, that was something, a loose digression there. They had a Aboriginal lady today do the Welcome to Country.
Oh, sweet.
And she did a couple of songs and stuff, and from the language of the local people to where we were. And it was really lovely. Sort of getting to the point, she requested that the second part of the Welcome to Country, that, film the first part, so she did it in, I suppose the first part was to the rhythm of the Australian anthem.
Yeah.
Which I thought was lovely, and she just requested that the second part not be filmed. Said, film the first bit, sure, but if I could just request that you put the phone down for the second part.
Yeah, it's a matter of respect, I suppose.
Yeah, I just thought it was, I don't want to say it took me by surprise, but it was just different, and the fact that she asked for it was really nice, and don't get me wrong, it was beautiful, but yeah, it was just something a bit unexpected.
Yeah, I suppose it's a lot to do with, like let's say at weddings, they probably had a photographer that they've paid, a shitload of money for.
Yeah.
And they didn't want a million mobile phones in the camera view or something like that. Not to say that's exactly what happened, but I think it was your wedding.
Yeah.
You guys said that. Yeah, it was like we've spent a shitload of money on a photographer, so instead of everyone having your phones, we'll get all the photos taken. Obviously within reason. If there's things that the photographer's not there and you want to capture, then by all means.
Oh, definitely.
But the actual ceremony, especially because you guys had somebody there doing it, there's no real
well, essentially it was
need for it.
Yeah, two photographers, because she had the main one and then the secondary one, so we're getting it from a couple of different angles.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, look, could have been something like that. Or maybe it was more of a respect thing.
I think it was more of a respect thing, because the other thing, she was about to mention a singer that had passed away by name.
Yeah.
She goes, no, we don't do that in our culture. That's not what we do.
No.
But she alluded to who it might have been. I actually still couldn't figure it out. But that is what it is. But yeah, it was a nice little touch though, because it turned out she was actually did I think it was a national anthem, or it was an anthem or a song for the NRL All-Stars.
Oh, sweet, for their game.
Yeah,
right.
So it was just something nice that, we've done a few walks before, and we haven't had that particular piece there. Yeah. So it was nice, because it's one thing and I know I'm probably digressing a bit here, but one thing I do respect, she briefly touched on, the camps and stuff, because she mentioned that she's from a reservation out near Kingaroy.
Yeah. And
she's like, yep, that's what they did back then, but that's essentially saying that's not you guys.
Yeah.
We're basically, turn around and said, we're an evolving species where we're walking down the path of mutual respect.
Yeah.
Both ways. And
it's like the way that they're looking to go with it.
Yeah, and it seemed like that's worldwide. It wasn't just, you know, we've seen some of the, well, I've seen some of the horror stories and news articles about, you know, Indigenous people getting rounded up and getting put into camps and things like that. But yeah, that was many years before I was here. Wasn't me personally.
Yeah.
But it looks like, yeah, through obviously that reconciliation, we can acknowledge that it happened, which is okay. You can't change the past as long as we learn from our mistakes and don't do it again.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And I think we're in too diverse of a nation now to go down that path, I guess, again. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually heard, it was a video, I believe, of a army soldier. God damn. A army soldier in the concentration camps for Hitler. And we're talking 100, nearly 100. The guy getting charged is 100 and I think he's 104 or something.
Yeah.
And he just obviously got charged with life imprisonment for.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's one of the last people that are still alive to get convicted, I suppose. So yeah, he's actually going through the. I saw it. Yeah, it was on a they was on trial and stuff. But incredible. Like to think, you know, we're coming through so many years on.
Yeah.
And it caught up with him. It, you know, it goes to show. I mean, look, maybe it come out. Maybe he finally let it out.
Yeah.
After all these years, he got to a stage and he just went, you know what, I got to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes into our thing. It's like maybe at that age he's got to 100 and something, and he went, you know, I'm not dying with this.
No.
You know, and that sounds fucked, but.
Yeah, and look, and I'm not saying what they did was the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that it was definitely not the right thing. But at the same token, we weren't there.
Yeah.
So we don't know pressures and
what
ideologies.
What he was told to do, because if he didn't do it, you know, they'd kill him and his family or something like that. But yeah, I just thought, when I saw that, I thought, fuck, you know, to think we're talking 100 years on.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe not 100 because he's only 100 and something, but 100 years on and he's still getting called for it, you know, and you're like, whoa, hang on a minute. So yeah, I think, to me, I mean, if you've gone that long without saying it, it's probably something that didn't need to be said, but obviously to him
it comes down to is that, you know, we all get, I'm going to assume, because obviously I'm not of that age, but you get to that point where you go, there's certain things in life where you might not necessarily agree with.
Yeah, just got to accept it.
And maybe it's his way of going, look, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to take the punishment for my crimes.
Yeah.
As well as maybe in some
closure from it.
Closure for obviously himself, but closure for maybe some of the families as well. So that he may have a different perspective or different information about what happened, which they may not know. Because, let's be honest, history is written by the victors, isn't it? It's not written by the people that, well, not anymore because the internet.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we look back, and don't get me wrong, I'm no history buff, so feel free to correct me here, but if we look back hundreds of years, it's like, oh, this empire was so great, this person was so great. Well, that's because they conquered someone, and that someone was a minority who couldn't actually tell their story.
Yeah.
And then we had great fires and stuff like that. So a lot of that is gone.
Yeah. No, it's crazy to look at things like that because you go, fuck. You know. See, again, like you said, it's not saying I think it was right. But if you look at how it happened and what happened and how we are now as a country or as a society in general, I mean, if those things hadn't have happened, we might not have even made it here.
Well, that's the thing.
It could have been anything.
Bit of a, we'll call it a shower thought, is what if he had succeeded?
Oh, that's it.
this would be a completely different society.
Yeah. Conversations would be different.
Yeah. We might not be sitting here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might not have even happened. I haven't been back that far in my ancestries or anything like that, but I could have been one of those people that, hypothetically, I was one of those people that was keeping them in and putting them into the chambers, and that's how I got here.
Yeah.
Or I could have been one of the people who escaped.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or it could have been something else.
You never know how they would have evolved.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was against a particular demographic, but you don't know if that might have expanded.
Well, yeah.
Suddenly it wasn't just against the Jews. It was going to...
Everyone.
Let's go against the Christians or the Catholics or whatever. And I'm obviously no religious person.
But, yeah, could it?
But you never know.
Definitely. It's crazy. I mean, we're sitting here now using technology, sitting in aircon, thank fuck.
Yeah, it's a bloody hot day.
It's hot out there.
And it's muggy too.
Yeah, I tried to obviously open the place up to get a bit of sunlight, which actually doesn't look too bad today.
No, it doesn't. It actually looks all right.
Doesn't look washed out, and that's even with the lights on. So maybe get a bit of daylight happening. I suppose next time we do it, or each time we do it, and see how it goes. If not, always got an office studio that we can put together.
Yeah, well, we might need to get some fancy lights.
Yeah.
I was actually contemplating, a bit of sidetrack here, I was playing with my web camera at work, and during this week, especially now that the sun is rising and setting at different times, I sit there and my camera's, okay, it's not this camera, but it's a Logitech Stream Cam, so it does 1080p, but I look dark. I am... I'm
shades you.
It shades me. So, it's just because it's trying to pick a point in my background, which is very bright. So it then makes me dark because I don't have blinds at work.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying me. I'm like, I kind of want to go out and get some of those LED lights to put on me just so that and I'm like, it's kind of a bit overkill.
Yeah. You just do the old, get those big rolls of sheet paper and just roll it down like a green screen behind you.
I could do that, actually. Well, we were going to put blinds up. I don't know what happened to that. We're going to do it before the end of financial year, but it just sort of fizzled out.
It fell out.
Yeah.
Well, look, at least with the green screen, it is tax deductible because it's portable brand advertisement, I suppose, if you look at that, because you can digitally print behind you a logo of some sort. So I suppose...
You can kind of do that already with some of the modern ones. It's just not great.
Yeah.
Especially if you're still pretty dark.
Blend into the thing, and then sometimes you'll pick a hand up and your hand will disappear. It's like, I've got no arm. But no, it's been good. Thankfully, we haven't been into a lockdown up here. I was banking on after the grand final. I thought we were going to go in. I actually thought we were going to go in after Riverfire because... people were sitting on top of us. So I'm quite pleasantly surprised. And I think the rest of the country is actually getting out of all of their lockdowns. Yeah,
well, I think New South Wales, by the time this gets released, will be out. So they come out tomorrow, I think. They call it Freedom Day.
Yeah, right.
Which is going to be interesting. And I know whether this is accurate or not, I seem to recall the news report today saying Victoria topped the amount of infections today. So, but they're looking at a roadmap out still. Because we're sort of changing tactics a bit, which is, it sounds like we're learning to live with it rather than...
Yeah.
Now that people are getting vaccinated
which,
and whatnot.
to me, kind of... I've been saying it for the whole time. It's sort of like, and I mean all respect for it, but it's going to take the people it wants to take. There was no way we were ever going to get rid of it because the rest of the world's moved on.
Yeah, see, this is where I struggle because similar boat, I go, look, we live with the flu, right?
Yeah.
We live with a common cold. Mm-hmm. That being said, we don't have a lot of people that are either immunocompromised.
Immunocompromised.
Immunocompromised. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have an elderly grandmother,
Yeah.
so and yeah, I think if we had just let it run rampant, we would have seen a lot more casualties within that bracket.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard because I don't have anyone directly impacted other than my grandmother.
Yeah.
But I have these, and funnily enough, and I know my sister listens to this, so hi.
Hello.
I know
Frank Walker from National. No.
I've had this conversation with them about, getting vaccinated and things like that. And they're, to put it bluntly, I'm using my words and my interpretation. They're a bit scared. Is the vaccine came out relatively quick?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've told you the same. The whole time I'm like, I'm not putting that in my arm. Let it stick around for a bit, and then. Yeah, like I said the other day, I went and got it because for my line of work, I'm supposed to travel. And I can't leave the state. I can't get into any other state, or I can get into other states, but I can't come back.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well, hot tip, go get the Moderna one because it is mRNA and it's been tested on millions and millions of Yanks before it hit our shores. So
Sweet. Oh, there's a testing facility.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one that I got anyway. But
yeah, so I get it. I get the fear, and I can understand from the scientific side as well. So if you look at, vaccines do typically take 10 years to come out. Yeah. But that's because every 6 to 12 months they've got to stop and then go find more funding.
Yeah, or more funding or more people to test on.
Yeah. Well, most of it is actually about the funding. So they spend from the ones scientists and people I've spoken to, most of their time is spent searching for more funding, whether it be through government funding or benefactors or donations.
I'm quite interested to see that statistic though. If you look at, say they spend most of their time looking for funding, right? They obviously look for the funding to produce more of that vaccine to be able to then test it on people.
Well, it's to do the research behind it. That's the problem, is that the time spent. So you've got...
so they would do it and then pay these people to stay in a room for a month or something like that.
Yeah. So it's about paying the salaries and, the medical equipment that's needed to test these vaccines. Yeah. So whereas, that's what, say, a cancer drug had to do, which was find funding or, take out of profits or whatever, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. People make money off drugs.
Oh,
it happens.
100%.
But when you've got the whole world behind you literally just throwing money at it, they didn't have to go and worry about funding or where the next paycheck was coming from.
Well, this is the other thing that annoys me. If we're going through this, right, we've gone through all this effort, the whole world's basically paying these people to do whatever they want, it's just, we don't care how much money it costs, just find a way to fix it. Why the fuck aren't we fixing cancer?
It's a valid question.
Why the fuck are we still seeing people stuff every day? It annoys the absolute fuck out of me because I think we said this once before. You look at Ebola, it was here for 2 weeks. I mean, it'd been around for years and years and years, but it was in animals and things like that. But been around for years. It'd been out for 2 weeks in Australia. Well, we had a suspected case for 2 weeks, and literally at the drop of a hat, they were like, "We've got something to fix it."
Yeah,
and it was like,
I'm going to give you 2 words: financial impact.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's people with
all it is. People
fucking
with
radiation and all that sort of bullshit.
Yeah, so fair enough. They get taxes and stuff like that, but the reality is that people that unfortunately are living with cancer, living with diseases, kidney disease and things like that,
buying medication, buying this, buying that, spending money on the treatment.
It's not even that though. You're thinking of it that they're spending money. I'm talking. So through coronavirus, we saw a lot of shutdowns, lockdowns. That has a financial impact on the economy.
Yeah.
Someone with cancer doesn't really have that much impact. So suddenly if the whole economy is not moving, we're not making money, which means big businesses aren't making money, which are typically the benefactors all the contributors to, say, particular political parties.
Yeah.
So it's all about how can...
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Like Scotty from PR.
Yeah.
Scotty from marketing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
to me, that's all it is that there's been a whole world focus at one particular time.
Yeah. Which, yeah. I mean, it's... No matter which way you look at it, it's fucked. There's people living with... And that, I mean, personally, I've known quite a number of people to go through cancer. Mentally, physically, it's emotionally draining on everybody involved. Yeah. And it's obviously especially draining on that one person. Mm-hmm. Had a mate of mine who actually, you know, is the same age as me. And he's now, thankfully, cancer-free, but he went through it like 2 years ago.
It is. And it impacts a family,
yeah,
or a
friends,
couple of families.
Relations, anything.
For the government, its constituents, if I dare say that in air quotations, is this impacts people that aren't sick.
Yeah.
So it's not just your 10%, your 20%. It's 90%.
Yeah, it's everybody, because it's not only... Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of the... that's where I see that the government has done, I want to say, wrong to Australia by locking us down. You know, yes, a lot of other countries have done lockdowns. You know, a lot of other countries have done 30-day lockdowns.
Yeah.
Locked it down for 30 days, hope to get rid of it, start to get rid of it. New Zealand's prime example.
Yeah.
They locked it down for 30 days. They did not have a single case in the country, opened the country back up. 2.5 months later, like 12 cases overnight.
Yeah.
All flew in on an aeroplane from Australia.
Yeah.
They then locked down, I know of personally, they locked down a couple of suburbs for 14 days.
Yep.
And then after that, they went, fuck, what do we do now? And it was like, well, because the people that they locked down for those 14 days, the ones that had it at the start didn't have it at the end, but the rest of their family did.
Yeah.
So the 14 days then starts again. If you put it that way, the 14 days would then start again from the time that those people get it.
But they can't, let's be honest, they can't win, right? So
No.
if they let it run wild and thousands of people died, they're the worst people in the world.
Everyone would be pointing the finger at them for...
If they lock them down to try and reduce the amount of casualties, and I say reduce because there's no way they'll remove it, then they're the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
I think and maybe just taking this mental health approach or lens to it is we're not going to see the ramifications of this until many years to come.
Oh, people are suffering from it at the moment. Like,
they're suffering now. I think, though, that is still the short term. They're probably, and I don't want to generalise, please note, but they're the people that probably should have already been seeking some form of help. But I'm curious for the ones that are, I don't want to call them stable, but the ones that aren't suffering mental health conditions, how it impacts them in 5, 10, 15 years. Yeah. So I was having a chat with someone based in Melbourne, and he's got 3 boys, and we're just talking about like schooling and the disruption there. And
they've been off for like 200 and something days.
They've been closed or locked down for almost a full calendar year.
Yeah.
And that means homeschooling, the social interaction piece, because let's be honest, kids need social interaction. I get it. I was an introvert. I hated social interaction, but it taught me skills.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Not imagine, but I empathize for those that are in those, senior years at schooling.
Oh.
They need to maybe ask for help from a teacher. They don't know how to ask for help because let's be honest, it's the same. Adults are the same in the sense of if you're in a meeting or you're in a town hall style meeting where there's a lot of people, everyone is waiting for every other fucker to ask a question before they will, because you don't want to seem like a dickhead.
Yeah, you don't want to be that first person. And then if somebody asks the question that you wanted to ask, you don't have to do it.
Yeah. Can you imagine that in an online forum?
Yeah, and I've actually seen, obviously with kids are getting, I want to say kids are getting smarter, but dumber at the same time. And I I mean that in a nice way. You look at, I've been watching TikToks. I mean, that shows you how stupid I am. I've been watching TikToks, and there's some students that have worked out ways to falsify their image on the computer, and then they're not even there. They're out in the pool. They're out, riding dirt bikes or playing with their friends, and they've got all these, pre-recorded films of them sitting there, quietly, yes, no type thing, and it's like they're getting smarter in the sense of, well, shit.
Well, they're figuring out how to work around a system.
Yeah, technology,
but not
works
realizing
in our favour here.
That system's there to help them.
Yeah. And then, obviously we've got the other side of the coin at the moment up here in Queensland, I know especially, is we've had a lot of younger, now I'm going to call them Eshay bras. The bum bag wearing, Eshay. Anyway.
Sure.
So, I've got a lot of Eshays up here stealing cars at ages 10, 12, 13, and you're like, where the fuck were they when I was young? Like,
I couldn't even drive a car at 10.
yeah, and
too busy playing Pokemon on the Game Boy.
that kind of also falls back into the whole, we've gotten lazier as a society, because back then, well, I know particularly for me, a lot of cars were manual. There was a couple of automatics, but it was $2,000 or $3,000 more expensive to buy the automatic version.
Whereas now some cars aren't even coming
up with
manual version.
Exactly.
But mate, what do you drive?
I drive auto because I'm lazy. But I also, 2 months ago had a manual. So
oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So I can still drive it. But the thing is, I think now it's made it easier to steal cars.
Yeah, well, they've only got to worry about 2 pedals, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. Go and stop. You can't fuck that up. I mean, now I read to you guys yesterday, 2009 Bentley.
Yeah.
Who steals that? Oh, it was a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I definitely see your point. Like, I'm not going to lie. I've got a manual license. I learned on a manual. My first car was a manual. The second one wasn't. Oh no, the second one was. Third one wasn't. Or the second. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've had a couple of
It
manuals.
was the Pulsar was auto, but the
the
Lancer
Pulsar
was manual.
and
the AU was manual.
EB.
EB was
Falcon
manual.
Manual, and the Captiva was manual.
Oh, you did have a Captiva, yeah.
Yeah, the
Forgot about
Shativa.
that. Shativa. Oh, I mean, well, look, we can speak bad about them now because Holden's no longer a fucking business, so...
It doesn't matter. It's just
pieces of shit.
It was a Korean-built heap of junk. The Audi was an auto, and the other cars we've had now have been auto.
Yeah.
Partly because I was travelling to the city a lot.
Yeah.
And...
Go, stop.
Doing that with a clutch was just...
Yeah.
It was frustrating. So, there's a bit of a laziness factor into it, not going to lie. But the reality is that, the next car is probably going to be an auto as well.
But
But the bike's a manual, so that's okay. Because
that's it.
I don't ride a scooter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind riding a scooter if I had one, because they're a lot of fun. If you've got a couple mates around, we've done a couple of scooter rides where you go down the Gold Coast, jump on scooters and hoon around for a bit. Yeah,
but not on the freeway.
Nah. Well, in saying that, I did see that Honda brought out a 500 scooter or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
I'm pretty sure there's a BMW one as well.
Yeah.
But,
look, it's
so,
nothing against it if you're commuting locally.
I worked with a general manager. This was many years ago now, and he lived at New Farm, and we were in the city. And fair enough. He would get a scooter in. And mind you, you wouldn't pick a fight with this guy. He broke shirts because of his muscles. He just, one day he just went, oh, god damn, like this. And his shirt just went, rip. And he's like, great, now I have to go get a new shirt.
That's the irony of I look fit and healthy. Boom. Oh, fuck. Damn it. I wish I wasn't.
As he told me, he only ever worked on the moneymaker side. It's the chest and the arms. And
that was...
Your racing seat's got a ghost in it, mate.
That was weird. I hope you guys heard that because my race car seat, steering wheel, and pedals just spun itself at like 90 degrees. I'm not really sure why, but
Well, your computer did sort of turn off or go to sleep.
yeah, but it normally only does that when it turns on.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes. Look, we've been going down the shit talking route for a bit. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy it. But I think we should go back to topic, I suppose, maybe a little.
Which one?
Well, just the mental health side of it, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it all interlinks. Like we've.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is my mental health release by just talking shit with you. So
Yeah.
it's
Look, I suppose it comes back to is that I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about?
look, we will. I think we'll just keep it generalised.
Yeah.
Obviously, family member. We're currently going through it at the moment. Is tender topic, I guess. Currently, where a relation, I believe, attempted suicide or
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit confused.
yeah. I haven't been given the full details, but I do
Yeah.
know that one of her friends stepped in.
And
Went
it's-
round, realised that the person was unconscious,
Well, that's a bit I don't understand. Like, so I know this person from before I knew your family.
yeah,
So, and I knew they suffered mental health issues back then. Certain things I wish I could unsee, to be frank.
Yeah.
But looking at some of the messages I'm getting through, I am confused, but I'm also not necessarily at this point in time game enough to ask any questions.
yeah. I mean, I have asked a few, mainly because I'm genuinely concerned. Yeah, and this person was apparently announced, I guess, dead or discovered dead or passed away.
Yeah.
And the person who found her
Resuscitated.
did CPR and
Yeah.
brought her back, which is forever grateful, especially if he's the things that he's probably seen now are probably something that I don't wish upon anybody. And being a family member, that I'm forever grateful that he did it. She's obviously now in intensive care,
And that-
breathing tubes.
Yeah, that's a bit I don't understand. Like, so without going into detail, there's been messages around
Yeah,
things like infection and this and that, and I'm just,
yeah.
to me, I go, well,
How do they all happen, or were they all there prior?
were they all there prior, or is that the catalyst? Maybe it wasn't an attempted.
Yeah,
Maybe it was just the infection
Her-
got too much.
Yeah, her body had given up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I know we've always focused on men's mental health, I suppose, but I guess the broader picture towards it would be mental health in general.
Yeah, well, that's look. Yes, men suffer mental health
Yeah.
issues. Guess what? So do women.
Oh,
so do
definitely.
kids.
Yeah.
Everyone suffers from it at one point or another. I saw this stat this morning actually. So it was posted on the Good Life Health Club's 5 hours ago. So interestingly enough, today's Mental Health Day.
Oh,
So-
there you go.
This will come out obviously a few days later. We probably should have put something on the socials, but I'll be honest, I kind of do this part and then I'll let you guys do the socials because
Yeah.
I got in trouble for using stock photos. No, I'm just kidding, Jordan. You've got a valid point.
Yeah. And then the photo you used of me, you bastards.
Yeah, that was just perfect because it was. So the photo I used for the last one, it was like, yeah, happy as this guy was. Sam asking me if I was catching up with you because you rang me and I was in the middle of an exec meeting. And you're like, oh, you want a coffee? I'm like, I could do lunch.
Yeah.
And so we went and had lunch and
yeah.
took a photo. But yeah, suicide is the leading cause of death among people aged 15 to 44, according to the Good Life Health. And I'll see if I'm going to take a screenshot and I'll put that in the post. So it mentions obviously some of the charities that Good Life Health Club work with, so the Black Dog Institute. And it just says, today is Mental Health Day and a good reminder to check in with yourself, your loved ones, and people you care about. Ask, listen and stay, get help, follow up.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, touching on the subject, I guess, was in our family chat, we had a family member mention that they had spoken to this person, just last week, and they said they were fine, they're okay, like everything was sweet. So I see two sides to it with that, and it's like you want to be able to read between the lines, but at the same time, you shouldn't take those things on as something that's your fault if you've tried.
No, and they might not be comfortable in sharing.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess this touches on anybody who has had someone, take their own life, or something like that. But a lot of the times people end up with additional issues or mental health problems from just simply having something happen in their life. The clearest example, the easiest example to look at is Bam Margera with Dunn. What's his name? Ryan Dunn. So Ryan Dunn, I don't know if he committed suicide or if he was in an accident and died, but Bam Margera is his best mate.
Yeah.
From losing his best mate, he's now in an even worse state than what he was ever before. He's been drug addicted. He's been, alcohol abuse, just the whole 9 yards. Completely ruined his career, lost his cars. He's lost a couple of houses from it. Just completely ruined his life because someone he knew took their life or unforgivably died. But if you look at that in a case of today, if you lose somebody, or if you know someone who's been through something and they've taken their own life, you just got to know it's not your fault. And if you've reached out and you've done everything you can and it didn't go anywhere, don't take that on board because that's not something you've done.
No, like, don't get me wrong.
Take it on board, I suppose, as a remembrance thing.
Yeah.
To celebrate their life, but don't take that onus on yourself that you've done something wrong.
Don't take it personally. It's if you know you've tried to reach out, obviously different if they've reached out and you've fobbed them off.
Yeah.
But even that being said, we get
busy. Yeah.
I will obviously encourage if someone does reach out to you is take the time.
Yeah,
but if you've reached out, they've said they're okay. If they've lied, maybe they couldn't admit it to themselves. Like it's not on you. Sometimes you cannot be everywhere.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like I've had this conversation a couple of times with workers and other employees of a business as well. And when you talk to those people and they go, I was at this guy's house, went and celebrated. I think they went to the races or something, or they were going to the races. They'd been down the pub. They'd come home. They were all having a drink. One of them said to the other one, "Hey, I'm gonna just duck home, get changed, and we'll go to the races." So, yep, no worries, all sweet. They left. When they returned, the police were out the front of the house. What the fuck's going on? So, for all intents and purposes, Johnny was inside. He's actually taken his own life. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, we were just here. Like, we were all, And then they sit there and they pick apart the day that happened. And it's like, well, fuck, what did I do wrong? Or, and it's like, well, no. Everyone was in a good mood. No one was upset. No one had said anything out of the ordinary.
No.
It was just Johnny said, you know what? I'm making my last day this day. Yeah. He obviously didn't tell anybody, but...
Well, that's exactly it. And I say generally speaking is, from what I've been told and what I've read, is they choose it. And this will be the day, how I'll do it, etc. And you don't know. It's not like Johnny's just sitting there in the corner sad and then made a split decision. It's not usually a split decision.
The thing for me was the fact that they literally said not 2 hours beforehand were hanging out with all of his mates. It's like, yep, and it was, he did. He just decided, he said, look, I'm making this my day.
Yeah.
Going to have fun with the boys. Going to have, you know, a good last day, and it happened. Now, do I think that's right? I can't make that decision.
No.
Do I, you know, and I've said this to you, when I first heard the thing, I was upset because I'm like, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of factors. But then, you know, you sit there and you think about it and you go, well, yeah, like you said, was it not an attempt? Was it an illness that happened? Was it, you know, there's so many things that are unanswered, and at the moment she's obviously on life support, or, you know, induced coma.
Yeah.
And they're trying to decide obviously when they start to try and bring her out, but it's kind of a case of like, if she pulls through and comes good, to me, if it was a failed attempt, I hope it's an eye opener, or a second chance at life, that she goes, okay, you know, I am supposed to be here. And if it was illness, well then, again, you know, got to try and help her out to get back on the healthy side, to be happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this stage, there's so many things that are left unanswered that, you know, maybe if we had more information.
Yeah.
But I'm the same. I don't want to ask too many questions.
No. Well, that's it. And at the same token, we may never know the answers, and it's up to that individual and their direct family if they want to share any more details. It's to me, it's not my place to pry. I'll obviously look at the updates, wish for a speedy recovery and a healthy recovery, and if it is something to do with mental health, I hope that person can get the help needed. And you know, we talked about, I think it was episode 3, about finding the right person that you gel with in order to open up to and to have a conversation with. So I hope they can get that person. Like I'll say it impacts me in the sense of Sam's found a good person to talk to. Yeah. And she's been talking to that person for quite some time. Yeah. And it helps her. And I can see the benefits of finding that right person to talk to. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Belle talks to the same one.
Oh God, we're fucked.
Down at the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Yeah. So they're both feeling it, you know. But no, look, we laugh and we joke about it. But the other thing is, especially if you listen to this, is to be open. Like if someone comes to you, like you said, if someone comes to you and you shrug them off, that to me is a problem. I find that wrong. I get, you could say, look, I'm busy. Just fucking, you know, just literally give me whatever, a couple of hours, finish work, finish whatever I'm doing. I mean, to me, if you ever called, nothing's important. I don't care whether I'm fucking...
Well, why didn't you answer your phone before, bastard?
Oh, I was balls deep in my hand. No, I wasn't really. No, I was actually at the shop, so my phone was on silent. And then when I got back here, I looked at my phone and went, oh, Paul called.
It's all good. Well, my little one's at the door banging, so hopefully that doesn't come through. But hello.
Can't see it.
That's all good.
No, we're good. But yeah, so, you know, and even then, like I said, I thought it was, I think it's bad. But if you do shrug somebody off, that could be something across yourself. You just don't want to talk to somebody about that because maybe you're afraid of opening up yourself.
Yeah.
Like that could, and that sheds a light on some self-inflicted sort of damage as well. And I hope hearing this, if you are someone who has shrugged somebody off because of that, I hope you do. Yeah, I hope this is like your flashlight in the eyes, like, oh, holy shit.
Which was, and just maybe I'm going to touch on something, and this will probably get me in trouble. Yeah. But we were talking yesterday, and you turned around and said something like, well, she's a bit cranky, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I fucking did wrong, but apparently I can't do anything right. Yeah. But funnily enough, that night was almost like a different person. Like,
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, you can say that. I won't.
She can hit me. That's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting how even 10, 15 minutes can change. Like I'm not gonna lie, a couple weekends ago, I think it might have been after the last episode, we went to the shops and I got some new work attire.
Yep.
I thought I better wear something suited to the role rather than just the
T-shirt, shorts.
yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
it got to the point we were in one shop and the shop assistant was just blatantly rude well, not rude, but like having a go at not having a go, sorry, but having a commentary on one of the customers that come back in. Like came in, picked up, I think she left a mask behind and left. And like, left. Yeah, I don't know what's so important about this mask. And I'm like, the store's got like 15 people that can hear you. You're at the front counter.
Yeah,
don't bagmouth one of your customers.
Yeah, and that's wrong in itself. I mean, who knows why she left the mask there? Do you know what I mean? Like, it could have been...
I think it was an accident, but
yeah,
it was, okay, so that mask is important to her. So what?
Yeah. Well, that, and if it was like a cotton mask or something like that, she spent money on that. I mean, if it was a disposable one, okay, you could probably go to the next shop and ask for one because most shops at the moment have masks. Yeah. But the other side to that is a lot of places might have masks, but like the pub down the road here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've stopped doing it now, but when I was there, they charged me like $1.50 for a damn disposable mask.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you bastards are making profit off masks now, Yeah. And it's... when you look at things like that, it's like there's no need, like you said, there's no real need to sit there. I mean, look, if you want to bitch about it, that's fine because people need to vent, people need to bitch about something.
Yeah, but don't do it in front of your other customers.
If you've got a shop full of customers, what if you knew the lady?
Oh yeah. Well, the irony, well, not irony, but what we said is that we walked out of that shop. We're like, we're not spending money here.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like, if that's what you're saying about a lady coming back into get a mask, what are you saying behind closed doors?
Yeah. What do you say if I don't fit a shirt, or if my socks don't look right, or whatever? I'm wearing the attire wrong.
Yeah. So
what are you going to say about me when I leave?
But interestingly enough, we then went to a different shopping centre and we're going in and we're looking for some shorts because we oh yeah, you were there. We found out that the pair of shorts I had a massive hole in them. And I'll be honest, I got to a point where I got overwhelmed and over shopping. I hate shopping for clothes. I be the first to admit I am self-conscious about my body image. Yeah. Have been for, how old am I now? No, but many years. And so there's a level of, I'll call it anxiety when we're doing clothes shopping.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was over it. I was overwhelmed. I needed to stop. And I didn't know how to convey that message. Yeah. And all it ended up was both of us was pissed off at each other. Yeah. Not for any reason. That's the worst thing.
Yeah. It was just...
Yeah, it seemed like she was pissed off at me for being pissed off and I was pissed off at myself for having the anxieties and the issue. So...
Yeah. Which, I mean, this is why we do what we do. Because hopefully... consistently talking about these things and bringing them to the surface helps in some way. Yeah. I mean, I found what I think was the right person for me, which was my coach at the time. Mm-hmm. And from that, I've become very, I want to say, overconfident in a lot of things that I do.
Self-aware.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, at the end of the day, if it doesn't go right for me, what's the worst that can happen? I've had this conversation with quite a few people in the past recent couple of weeks even. Yeah. Where they're like, I'm pissed off at this. I hate this. I hate that. Hate my job. And it's like, okay, all right. Well, pick something that that you're sick of. And it was like, oh, I'm sick of getting yelled at, or I hate my job, or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so why do you continue to do that? Oh, because, it's just easier. Well, is it? Because you hate it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, or if things are going wrong, let's say business is suffering.
Yeah.
And everybody's worried about the business suffering, whatever. And you're going, oh, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to have a job next week. Well, what happens if you don't have a job next week? Yes, we've got bills to pay. If you talk to most of your banks, like companies, whatever, electricity, gas,
they're reasonable people.
They can put holds on things, especially during COVID. They've been given new regulations and new laws that they have to abide by. Where if you can't afford to make payments for 6 months or something, they can put it on hold and they can move it, or whatever the case may be. But the worst case scenario, if you don't have a job tomorrow, is you go and get another one.
Yeah.
And if you can't find another one, the government will step in at one point and start paying you, especially lately.
Yeah, I suppose that's the other side of it, is that...
We don't live in America.
No, it's not that. And I know this may be an unpopular opinion. I'm going to say it anyway, which is, you're absolutely right. Go get another job. Even if you don't like that other job.
Yeah.
If you're going down to Maslow's laws of bare necessities... I got the of what you need, then getting a job and making sure you can eat or you can put food on the table is enough until you can find the right job. Great, you were a corporate executive and now the only job you can find is cleaning toilets. But if that fucking puts food on your table, fucking do it.
There's a I'm going to say it because it doesn't matter. There's a Stella Rossa down the road. And the old owner of that business, when COVID kicked off, he still had full-time employees he was paying. He still had bills he had to pay, rent he had to pay, his house, blah, blah, blah. When he got shut down from COVID, between COVID shutting all the shops up and then him working out, look, I should probably start doing deliveries as well, takeaway.
Yeah.
He went, well, fuck. If I don't have a job, my family's going to suffer, my business is going to go.
Yeah.
He was stacking shelves at fucking Coles, doing night shift. And it's like, so for daytime, he'd be trying to operate the bare minimal, send your shit out, whatever, from his cafe.
Yep.
But he was stacking shelves of nighttime.
Yeah.
Because he knew that in order to live, that's what he needed to do.
That's exactly it. And I get it. Sometimes you have to take not necessarily glamorous jobs in order to get by. Shit, if it's only 6 months, if it's 12 months, if it's a couple of years, your typical career job, whatever, extends, 40 or 60 years? Yeah. If you've got to do something you don't like for a few years, I get it.
Doesn't really matter.
It might not be as entertaining or you might not be enjoying it. Fuck, I enjoy eating though.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly.
You're dead right. It comes down to, from the discussions I've had with my personal coach and the retreats I've done and all that sort of stuff, a guy named Jacob Aldridge. He's a life coach / business coach. Blah,
Sorry,
blah, blah.
I'm bopping along because I've still got bare necessities in my head.
So I did a retreat with him. It was through a company called ProTrade. Went away and did this retreat, and that was the one thing he was big on. And it was if your business closed down tomorrow, because it was predominantly business owners that was there.
Yeah.
If your business closed down tomorrow, what's the worst thing that can happen? And everyone's like, oh, fucking lose me house, I'll lose this, I'll lose that. And he goes,
no, you don't.
Why would your business closing cause you to lose your house? He's like, well, because bills. And he's like, so what's stopping you from getting another job?
Yeah.
What's stopping you from going to work for somebody?
And that's probably one thing, which is personality.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick on business owners, but I am.
Yeah.
Is that... Generally speaking, they go out because they're the best in their technical discipline, right?
Yeah.
And they don't generally work well with others. But the reality is that they have a unique set of skills that they have now learned as a business owner that is very attractive to other businesses.
Yeah, very, very sought after, especially.
Yeah. So an example is around the table, we've talked about it a couple of times, not here obviously. But we want a business development manager
Yeah.
or equivalent, a salesperson that has the skills of what some of our not founding fathers, but founding
Yeah.
people have.
Business
which is
creators or owners or whatever. Yeah.
which is, there's a technical nous, but there is that business sense. They don't exist. We turned around to our director at the time. We said, they don't exist because they're your competition. But the reality is that they have skills that do
Yeah.
benefit other businesses. I know one of the directors for the company I work for went and worked in a very high role at a not publicly listed company, but an aviation company.
Yeah.
And worked at the senior exec level, and now works doing consulting for one of the big four consulting firms.
Yeah.
Like, he's got skills of being able to translate technology into business speak and vice versa.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I mean, if you're at that level, or even if you're not at that level, even if you're fucking working at, I don't know, Pete's pizza shop or something, and they only did dine-in. I mean, pizza shop, whatever. But they only did dine-in, and all of a sudden, you've lost your job because COVID shut them down. Pizza delivery, whatever. Hypothetically, they've been shut down. You've now got no job. At the moment, the employment market is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot look at my phone, scrolling through Facebook, Instagram. I've even seen ads on Snapchat, which is telling you where the market's going.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
for me, I mean, it's personalised advertisement because it's me. But the plumbing industry, for instance.
Well, let's use that as an example, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is just something I was thinking about as you were talking, so apologies if this is not fully formed. Business closes down, right? Business owner, say 5 staff, sucks. They're out of a job. But the reality is that we're not allowed to trade insolvent.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a rule against it, and the QECC will shut you down.
But you've got the business owner, right? So if you then go work for another plumber, right? Okay, yep, you're probably going to be on the tools a little bit. Okay, is that such a bad thing? It's probably a comfort zone.
You're probably already on the tools.
But let's
still anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but let's be honest. You understand P&L, you understand activity statements, you understand that you've got to build a relationship with people in order to get more sales.
Yeah.
You've definitely got some sort of sales background, because you don't build a business without having you were technically great, but you had to sell yourself at one point. So suddenly, you've got all these skills, not just your technical, I've got a license and I'm a member of this association, I can do this. But you've got these skills, which, generally speaking, an apprentice doesn't necessarily start with, right?
Think of the other 5 blokes that you've hired, or 4 blokes, whatever.
Yeah.
You're the guy who hired those 4 people.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, when it comes to somebody else, they go, okay, well, he's worth $60 an hour. They're worth $30 an hour.
Yeah. I guess extrapolating the thing that your business might not have survived because maybe you target a particular market, or you didn't have marketing. Go work for a company that's got that sorted, because obviously that's not a strong suit for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And you could actually learn how to do it.
You can learn how to do it. Yeah.
And then you go, after 6 months, like you said, 5, 6, 12.
You give it another go,
you
right?
go, you know what? I've still got all my old clients.
Yeah.
They're back on board. The money's flowing again because, COVID's gone away.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, I've learned a new skill from getting a job somewhere else. I've learned a new skill of marketing.
Yeah.
So if this ever happens again next time, I'll have those marketing tools to be able to combat COVID or whatever.
And the other point I guess I'm also trying to make is, don't go in there and go, well, I was a business owner or a director and, it was a $5 million turnover business. I want a salary of $250,000, because you're probably going to be laughed out of the room.
Yeah.
Right? You take a...
They turn around and go, why'd the business close then?
Because I was taking too much. No, well, it could have been a number of reasons. But take an average salary and go, hey, yes, my business closed down. Here are the reasons. I'm willing to work for average. These are the additional skills that I can bring to it, because these are the things I've learned as a business owner.
And even saying that, at the moment, especially in the plumbing industry or any trades industry, people are worth more money just by sticking around.
Yeah.
You know, with especially plumbing and electrical, I suppose, but there's so much work out there at the moment, so much work going on, because we've also got all New South Wales, like Victoria, they're all moving up here and things like that. Or wherever, you know, a lot of people are moving to Queensland specifically. We've seen that over the growth statistics. Yeah, but in order for those people to move up here, a lot of those people are now building homes. So I'm working with quite a large builder at the moment. They are completely booked out until mid-February next year.
Jeez.
And they're looking at going even further than that. They're just not sure because of the amount of work that's going on. They're just not sure what to do. Bell's Work is another building company. They've stopped selling homes.
Jesus.
They've got so much fucking work that they've stopped selling homes. So at the moment, she's not really needed because she obviously works in a display home and, you know, she's not needed because they're not selling homes anyway.
No.
But they're still taking information and things like that, which is, I guess, why she's employed.
Yeah.
But in the trade industry, there's so much work going on that if you walked in and said, I want this much money, and they laugh at you and send you on your way, well, that's fine. But then if you walked in and said, I want, hypothetically, $80,000, and they said, okay, sweet, you know, it's not too much, it's not too little, it's good. So 80 grand. Then you've worked for them for 6 months and you go, look, I've worked with you for 6 months. 80 grand's good, but 90 grand's better.
Yeah.
And if you've got an offer somewhere else, for example, or you've looked somewhere else and you can get that 90, which is more than possible at the moment.
Yeah. Just don't be afraid to talk to them.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
you just simply go, look, I'm happy to stay, but you know, these guys have offered me this much. You got to come to the party. And loyalty and consistently showing up to work at the moment is something that any trade is looking for. So, I mean, just stick with it. Like,
I suppose the message from me is know your worth in one sense. Be aware of what the market's doing.
Yeah, reasonable market lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and don't be afraid. Know what you're good at. Know your strengths. Know your weaknesses. Because there's nothing stopping you taking the 80 grand and then in 6-12 months' time go, hey, look, or even having the conversations. Hey, look, I was taking this salary as part of my business. I get that we can't do that here,
but
I'm willing to take. I'm open to discussing, but I think this is what the average is at the moment. Say it's 80 grand.
Yeah.
If I can hit these targets, maybe it's a revenue goal, maybe it's bringing in new customers, which could be. You may have a small subset of customers that haven't closed down. If I can bring them in and transact on it, maybe it's a commission base, or can we review in 12 months and go, get me closer to where I was?
I want this because I'm bringing you this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely just being open. Communication's a big thing. Just keeping it out there, just keeping active, because at the end of the day, don't look at this time as a bad time, because even though there's bad things that are happening or you consider them bad things, if you look at it, you're still alive. You know, if you've got a family, you're still waking up to your family. You know, whatever. You're out there, you're enjoying yourself. Just have fun with it. There's no one's judging you. And at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, you're still alive.
You're still alive. And get another job.
And I was going to say, and I said this the whole time. Eventually, even if you can't get a job, I mean, it's not great money, but in Australia, the government pays you. So at worst case, you got to jump on the door.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that's not good money for anybody, but shit, if that means the difference between you having food and not having food, it's a win. And if it's going to get you by for a couple of weeks until you find a job, shit, it's done what it was designed to do.
Exactly.
Although there is some people that are just on it and have been on it their entire life.
Yeah, that's probably a discussion for another day.
Yeah, we could go that's a long topic. But yes, I mean, it was originally designed for the let's get you by, let's get you through what you need to, and let's get you on your way. So if that's what it does, if that's what it helps, then shit, it's done what it's there for. So just know you're going to be okay.
Exactly. And on that note, I suppose we better wrap it up. It's been just over an hour.
Yeah.
So,
If you're still with us, thank you.
yeah, thank
If
you.
you're not with us, again, fuck off.
Well, if they're not with us, they can't
They
hear
can't
it.
hear us anyway.
But no, it's been really good. I know we went on a few different tracks today, so just putting it out there. If you need help, reach out. Maybe we're the random people that just get it or understand, or maybe we just sit there and go, do that weird thing which we probably don't do at home all that much, which is listen.
What was that?
What?
What did you say? Exactly.
But yeah, but seriously, reach out. There's obviously the socials. There is the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. There's an email address, which is podcast@lick.com, licc.com.au. Oops, I didn't do .com.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's
I
all right.
mean, look, if you're listening this far, you know our details by now.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Or if you've gone back and you're going through the back catalogue because, you're 2 years into the future and we're actually still talking.
Sorry about the audio.
Yeah.
It should be fixed now.
Well, I guess I think we might have got it right this week. I think we've sorted the video and sorted the audio, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, just reach out. That's what we're here for. If it's not us, reach out to someone. There will be someone there, someone that you gel with that you can have this conversation. We know that the public health system is struggling with mental health. They're playing a lot of catch up.
Yeah.
I get that sometimes money can be tight, but I encourage you to prioritize your mental health. So as much as I know drinking can be considered a crutch, maybe it is not getting, a case of beer and it's going and seeing a psychologist or psychologist. I'll make sure I get the right one there.
Yeah. Nah, just get the MRI.
He's never going to live that down.
Nah, definitely not. But look, I think you did right. It's reach out. We're always happy. I mean, if we haven't got back or whatever, I haven't seen it for some reason. Not that I think we wouldn't have, but reach out. I mean, there's always people out there. It doesn't matter. Be on a 5. I heard a thing, and they were literally talking about a stranger.
Yeah.
I said it last week. If you walk into Woolies, Coles, whatever, and they say, "Oh, hey, how you going? How's your day been?" Fucking tell them.
I did that.
Bruh, there's a fucking proper ghost in here.
Yeah, on that note, I think we'll just wrap it
we're
up
gonna
and escape the room whilst we're still alive.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks
We
for
love you all.
listening.